there is a lot of wisdom in the Indian scriptures and the Indian way of working in the Indian family system, which I think are greatly applicable for world governance if it is understood well enough by everybody.
G20 में वसुधैव कुटुंबकम आ चुका है और अब हम इसके ऊपर एक विश्वास के साथ चर्चा कर सकते हैं.
United Nations has spectacularly failed us.
We need to decolonize our thought processes.
The concept which the Honorable Prime Minister has also put in place and India has to offer to the world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
All policies that have to be adopted for the next world order from the Shastras, from the traditions.
This balance between spiritualism and geopolitics is very essential.
A spiritual sovereign, some of his ideas pertaining to technology or pertaining to the Middle Eastern crisis, they are absolutely enlightening.
Indian family system is being looked at as a model for the world to look after itself in these troubled times.
How can startups play a role in propagating a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam?
આપણને એક અવસર મળ્યો છે અહીંયા ભારતને વિશ્વગુરુ બનાવવા માટેનો.
If the world has to listen to India, India has to be strong.
This conclave actually tells us the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and how we need to move forward.
Today I have with me Vice Admiral Indian Navy Mr. Biswajit Dasgupta. He has served as the Flag Officer Commanding in Chief Eastern Naval Command. Sir has had a distinguished career in Indian Navy and his post-retirement work suggests involvement in operations, transformations and strategic growth. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
What are the key takeaways from today's event, the talk that we have had?
This has been a good education. The first time that I have come to this gathering, and the theme of the discussion being how is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam applicable to the world order as it is emerging today. It is a good thought that the Indian family system is being looked at as a model for the world to look after itself in these troubled times. So there are many lessons I think that can be learnt from our larger family system, which can be applied to the world as a family. And not just that, I think that being the broad theme, I think Guruji, who has been the main force behind this particular conclave, I think he did a wonderful job of laying out certain directives or guidelines that are available in our scriptures, which the world would do well to understand and read. So what we sort of gather is that there is a lot of wisdom in our scriptures, in the Indian scriptures and the Indian way of working in the Indian family system, which I think are greatly applicable for world governance if it is understood well enough by everybody. So the aim, I think, of this gathering is to obtain thoughts from people from different walks of life and try to put them together in a manner which can then be sent out to influence policy makers or political leaders who then can implement some kind of a change for the future. So I think it's a very good step in a congenial atmosphere and in a spirit of discussion.
How was your interaction with Guruji? I think you have had a one-on-one meeting with him?
I had the opportunity to speak to him for about half an hour yesterday, and he came across as a very grounded and simple person with a very unusual interest in global affairs for a monk, Jain order, and he is a very renowned monk of the Jain order. But what really struck me about Guruji is that he does not have any agenda in what he is doing. No, there is no agenda beyond just meaning well for the community and for the rest of the world. And in fact, I was surprised at his interest in political affairs, economic affairs and strategy as such, and I asked him that, you know, has this been your passion ever since, or has it been recently acquired? So he said that when he was going into the monastic order, his guru and his elder brother told him that, look, if you have to do some good to the world, you have to know how the world functions, and therefore you better start reading about the world. So that is when he told me that he started taking an interest and reading about what's happening all over the world and trying to analyze for himself the various aspects of governance. And that, I think, he has put his spiritual template over it to make a nice cocktail of what should I say, guidance to.
What, according to you, is the role of religious leader in bringing about global peace?
Well, you know, as lay people, we have always been brought up in the belief that the church and the state should be separate, and there should not be too much of religious meddling into political affairs. The religion is very deeply embedded into politics, whether it is international politics or national politics. And the masses, who are the voting population, are often swayed by religion more than anything else. So I think the role of religious or spiritual leaders, I would say spiritual more than religious, may be, to my mind, twofold. One is to provide guidance to the political leaders or to the decision makers, policy makers, on what is right, what should be done for the betterment of humanity. And secondly, because, you know, these religious and spiritual leaders are very large followings, so they are big influencers of sorts. So if they can influence their followers to do the right thing, to select the right leaders, to you know, look after common good and common property in the manner that they would do their own, I think these are the areas where they can really provide the guidance that is necessary, not just to the policy makers but also to their followers at large. I am sure the spiritual leaders who are of the stature of Guruji, I am sure there would be many people who shape policy, who seek his counsel or come to him for guidance, for spiritual or other guidance. And from what I have seen is he has got some very good ideas, very well-meaning ideas, and they can only be converted into practical good through the political leaders and policy makers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.